YouTube, what the crap's going on? Get your matchlock ready, light that fuse, get your powder dry, and we're going to get started with some more action in trying to build the Otomo Christian gun-heavy shogunate here, which makes this a very interesting playthrough, at least in my opinion, on Total War Shogun 2. Now, when we last left off, we had ended up in a rather large war with the Oda. I defeated one of their armies rather soundly. They had two more backing it up, including some very nice long-range missile infantry here with these bow warrior monks. So I decided to back off, let them retake Bizen if they want to, and give my army a chance to basically be able to heal up some. Let's see whether I lost any troops here. There's my first five, so that's 10, 15, may have lost one unit. Yeah, it does allow me to recruit, so I lost a unit in here. I should be able to remind myself what it is, because I had, I think it was just a Yari Ashigaru. Yeah, it was the Yari Ashigaru. There is an armorer here where I could technically recruit one of the better troops, but with the, what did I forget? The Oda right here in the way. How did I forget? Well, I guess that's kind of a fun slight at them that I didn't necessarily intend. But I forgot their name while they were right in front of me, and I just fought them. Woo! Get burned. Let's see what we got here. Got some missionaries that are helping to improve happiness at certain settlements so that I can keep the taxation open. Got some ninja. Matsuke should be embedded. So really my ninja and maybe some of my missionaries are the only ones that should be moving around. But this one is helping at Bitchu, trying to get the population to be a little happier. So we captured the black ship. It is now under repairs at the port of Bizen. And we are still blockaded here. Looks like we are on the way to fix said blockade. And I have another army in the background here. Let's see, is this recruiting? Looks like I was maybe going to switch this back into the garrison. I think they have a movement order into the garrison. So we'll see. Yeah, making considerably more money. And we would be, at least, if we weren't blockaded right there. So that blockade is definitely hurting us a little. And let's remind myself where I have taxes turned off. That's going to be... I'm going to pull these up and see what happens. Yeah, see, I can start taxing Aki. And probably here as well, yeah. Bingo. So that'll pick me up a little extra income. So let's go ahead. Allow that taxation to continue. And I think we need to end a turn. While I end the turns, I will be taking some comments here from the last episode. So Gabriel reminds me that he says, Air Namban ships have a longer movement range on the campaign than the Kabayas and the Bunets have. When chasing down fleets, get that little extra bit of range, it's wise to separate them. That's a good call out, and maybe I could have just done that at that blockaded port. I should have checked. So, great comment. Thank you. Very helpful. Very much appreciated, Gabriel. This was expected. They're going to come try and take my fort here. And to be fair, we could probably kill some of their troops, but we're not going to win this. We're just going to get completely outweighed by numbers, despite the extremely good quality. If I had a few matchlock units, I might give this a shot, but we do not, so we're not going to waste time. We're just going to auto-resolve. It'll give them a little bit easier victory than they should have, but they were going to take Bizen, and that was all part of the plan here. Yeah, it says they only lost 57 troops taking this. This is obscenity. Like, absolutely absurd. Like, there's no way that they wouldn't have taken hundreds of losses. The auto-resolve in this game is utterly broken. Utterly broken. Now, you'll notice that they couldn't quite... they couldn't quite reach my other city there to siege me, which means I will get the replenishment. And that is very, very bad for the Oda. That is not what they want. So, some people might say, Air, you should have fought that because you could have caused them more casualties, because now, look, you're facing them again. It's true. It is true. But I don't like the tedious nature of that type of stuff. The auto-resolve is just incredibly bad. Incredibly bad. Now, we could back up and give them Bitchu and then, again, just push right through them. But we're not going to do that. Yeah, we're not going to do that. I think what I'm going to do, actually... I wish that I could take the army and the agent, but the way that this works... There's really... I'm going to have to, like, move out of the city this way. I want the agent in my army, because I think he increases morale. Inspire army, yeah, increases morale. Yep, I want him to increase the morale, because some of my troops, being Ashigaru and stuff like that, it'll help me to have the higher morale. And we're going to have to fight and win against this army. It's not an ideal scenario for us. Those bow warrior monks are going to be problematic, to say the least. Problematic. So I mean, this is going to be a tough fight. But we need to win it. We can't just, I say we can't retreat forever. We actually can retreat. And would probably be okay to do so. And have a much better chance of winning this. I think I am going to do that, actually. They may be able to take this settlement and catch up with me. But... Get an ace up my sleeve here. Sabotaging army will halt its movement for 1 season and kill a few of its men. If we can sabotage this army, that will leave me in a pretty excellent condition. Failed with that ninja. That is unfortunate. This ninja is much higher level. Not a whole lot better chance, but we'll give it a shot. Take that, suckers. Oh, OP agents. CA, please don't nerf, because I'm getting a lot of good use out of them. I'm going to get up here and really screw with the outta. I don't have a ton of money. So I probably... this doesn't cost much, so we'll go for it. They had an enemy agent there trying to get to me as well. Right, my sabotages were successful. Do I have another ninja? Because I should be able to field 5 of them. Yep, right here. We should try to sabotage this army. Excellent. And my ninja leveled up, so we can keep... Oh, this is... Hopefully the Harakayama are not after me. We'll see. And I don't know if I'll have the money for revolt. I do not. But I can go ahead and position this missionary here and start to spread Christianity. And then, yeah, this army's stuck. This army's stuck. I'm replenishing very quickly at this point, so... Good news. Good news indeed. Alright. What else we need to do? So I've got a nice garrison at Bungo. We need to take this fleet and break the blockade. Who knows what shenanigans the auto-resolve will do here. Lost a Bokabaya, gained a Bokabaya. Alright, net neutral. I'll take it. Our port is free. We can repair this fleet. They are still raiding me pretty heavily right here with this fleet. And again with this one. We can expect some lower profit margins right now, though this fleet is healed. So I have the black ship and a number of Bokabaya. So we can come at least push off this fleet. This isn't much for actually being played. I just want to see the black ship in action. Ship action, and black ship action you will get. So here it is, the black ship all decked out now with OTOMO sailors, the way it should be, I guess, unless it stayed in the hands of its original owners. But we stole it fair and square from a second-hand owner, and we'll be keeping it. I'm going to use my Bokabayas to run a little screening maneuver here. This is typically the way I like to play with Nanban ships, or the black ship. You can see the black ship packs a heck of a wallop. It's actually, I think, longer range and stronger attack than typical Nanban ships, so it is pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome indeed. So yeah, I'm going to be using my, like I said, Bokabaya just to run interference here. There's really no enemy ships I'm worried about. The AI is completely and nincompooplishly incompetent at using their Sengoku Bune, and their Sengoku Bune are actually their best chance of defeating the black ship, which is unloading samurai onto it and fighting against the matchlock units with their much better melee combatants, and the fact that they don't do this, to be fair, is kind of a...
Shameful display!
Yes, a shameful display, exactly. Exactly what I was thinking. So, that is kind of the problem. I'll let you see what's happened here. So a couple of their Sengoku Bune are using their speed, but they circle around trying to play a missile attack. Again, this is an AI problem. You can see that they just get absolutely hammered by the black ship, and even with CA nerfing the ship, and they really, again, shouldn't have. It's absolutely ignorant that they nerfed it. But the AI just doesn't know how to take advantage of the situation, and what it should do is just sail in Sengoku Bune and immediately get into melee. They can use their Bokabaya to try and set a fire, and then Sengoku Bune to swarm and melee. And so again, they have an option, an opportunity. They're just not able to capitalize on it because of their incompetence. So, yeah. For your own use, whenever you're using these ships, you will now know that that is how to play them. These guys will not be the last Oda sailors. Look at that, their own ship just sailing right over the top of them. There will be many, many Oda sailors feeding the fishes, being sacrificed to the oceans, as they are no match for the Otomo's mighty navy, including the black ship and the Nanban ships. So that's going to finish them for this battle. Alright, very unnecessary, but very entertaining. Suckers. Alright, so that'll free up a little more income for us as well. Now, people were saying, again, I can take these ships like the black ship out of this, and I could go make an attack here, but you really don't want to do that, actually, because the black ship is vulnerable to multiple Bokabaya attacks. I'm going to get rid of these extra ships here, because I don't need them from an upkeep or just any type of necessity. And then there was a good point given, which was, hey, just park those ships in front of the port, and it'll keep them from blockading it. It's an excellent point. We just need some extra ships, and we'll get that done. They are still raiding me, so I'm expecting I'm losing some trade income. It probably will... I don't know if it shows you what you're losing by raiding. Yeah. Sea route raided. So yeah, this shows me what I'm losing here. So we're losing a bit of income. So, not ideal. But we're still making income, and that's with some expensive armies on the battlefield. And we're about to collect more territory that our missionaries had pre-prepared for our arrival, we'll call it. And let's see here. So we are going to capture Nagato. Move into position. Obviously auto-resolve this, because there's nothing worth fighting. And we're going to peacefully occupy. Our general increases in rank. That's very good. Now, it's going to cost a lot to repair all of our buildings. At least I would assume so. And I don't have a lot of money at the moment. Though I do know I'm going to tear down some of the stuff. We need to improve, like repair the farms, the trade port, all that kind of stuff. But nonetheless, we've gotten a foothold here. Room, melee attack for general bodyguard, accuracy for bow samurai. I mean, I do have bow samurai, so it's better than nothing. Melee defense for bodyguard. Campaign movement range is valuable. And that is another province, which we're not going to get any tax income from it at the moment because there's just no buildings there to produce any taxes. We're going to have to repair them all. We've got our enemy basically stuck here where they can't do anything. I don't think there's any other agents that I need to move at the moment. I'll just check my missionaries, but I'm pretty sure that we're all set. Yep, we are. So we're set from a movement standpoint. I'm going to probably just end the turn. I think I'm going to take this army up to Buzen, where we can do some recruiting if we decide to. And that way we spread out some of our defenses here. And I'm going to leave a pretty solid defense at some of these coastal settlements where we are possible, naval invasions. None of these fleets here are carrying an army. We'd be able to see it by a smaller flag attached to it. So let's end our turn. Comes the Oda. And get to the next comment. So Sank says, Air, please don't forget to name your characters as the following, lest you dare incur a shameful display. I tried to keep it diverse. Patchy-sama, Patchy-san, Patchy-sensei, Patchy Senpei, Patchy-kun, and Patchy Onachan. I can't even pronounce all these. Can you even rename characters in this game? I don't think you can. I'll go find out. We're studying bow expertise, master shipwrights. Let's go check our research and see if it is working on what I would want it to. I think I'm going to do this one here, the tea ceremony. Yeah, let's do the tea ceremony, and then the School of Shinobi might be a good idea too. So it is winter time. Our opponents will be taking attrition in our territory. But better yet, I was able to do some more replenishment. And we have a decent bit of cash on hand at the moment. They're moving to blockade this port here. And as much as I would like to intercept them, if I leave my trade fleet open, they could just easily bypass me and attack my trade fleet. So if they do go blockade the port, I'm probably just going to end up having to let them do it, unfortunately. I'm going to build a sake den here. It's relatively cheap, and then same with the market. Relatively cheap, and it gives us a little bit of extra income. I'm not going to spend the money on the farms, even though I do kind of want to repair that, because I'm very limited on funds at the moment. Would love to sabotage that army again and hold it there for destruction. Subterfuge when assassinating sounds great. Sabotaging armies is helpful. Okay. Should I try to assassinate their leader? That would make their army easier to topple. I've only got a 37% chance. That ninja, but I've got a pretty solid chance here for fairly reasonable cost. Let's try it. Because if I assassinate their general and then attack him, this could be quite good. Alright, while we're watching this, Max Thompson says, this clan was the one that got me to find your channel in the first playthrough with them. It's the first thing I found. Awesome. Well, thanks for being here, Max. Hopefully enjoying the second playthrough. I know I am. I have indeed played this faction before. Come on, get him, ninja. Get him, ninja. Get him, ninja. Yes! Target assassinated. Oda Motosune. So that was a family member, I believe, based off his name. Now they're taking attrition, and they have no commander, and they're going to be counterattacked. So we have evened the odds a little, at least. And it is time for a great battle. That was a very rousing general speech. Very much liked that one. I love the general speeches. I hope they bring it back. I know it would take a lot more work to implement it in Warhammer, since it would have to be very specific to each faction, but I do wish they would do it. In any case, the AI is better for camping on the hill. It makes them smart. That's what they should do. Okay, I know, I'm making a silly voice, and yes, I'm poking fun at you. But I just... Here's the thing. This is not better for them. It's worse. You all saw the army that we're fighting against here. It's rather large and significant. If they run straight at me, they will take significant losses from my Portuguese Terra Coast. But I'm only going to get a couple of volleys at most. And then they're going to enter melee, and they have a very good melee force, and they have a very good cavalry force if they'll work around my flanks. Now that said, the fact that they're going to come camp here is going to end up being a big mistake, and I'll show you why. Like, because for the people who do insist that the AI is better for doing the stupid hill camping on this game, you're wrong. And I'm going to demonstrate why you're wrong in this battle, and it's because the AI is so focused on hill camping, so solely focused on it, that they make some big mistakes. Here, their Yari cavalry was getting upset that my Donderbuss cavalry was about to shoot them, and I was able to get a nice 2-for-1 engagement, but the AI will be able to reinforce this. So again, look, AI's marching all their troops over here when they should have just charged me headlong, because the army they have right here will cause more damage to me in a headlong charge than camping. You might be like, well, that doesn't make any sense there. They have better bows than you. Just watch. Just watch. keep an eye out. I'm going to show you again why you need to stop saying that the AI is better to camp. It's not better, it doesn't make the game more fun, and it's not a better strategy for them. So I'm going to debunk this, hopefully once and for all. Because I know that there's not a ton of you, but there's a few of you who defend this behavior from the AI. It is not good behavior. And there's a reason why the AI doesn't do it in current Total War games, and it's presumably because CA learned their lesson on how to make the game better. If we were playing Warhammer 2, by the way, this army would charge me, or it would at least move into missile range and start trading bow fire with me, which would be pretty intelligent, right? Instead, it's spending all of its time placing all of its very much superior range missile troops in the woods, where they're going to be blocked. So remember that they're going to take penalties in the woods with their missile troops, which is only going to help me. Their bow warrior monks have longer range than my bow samurai and superior firepower, but they do not have superior armor and numbers. And so when you put your bow monks in the woods, it's going to, number one, reduce their overall effectiveness. Number two, it's going to allow me to spread out my bow samurai in a very loose formation in the woods and mean that their bow warrior monks will cause very little damage to me. And the AI is too stupid to go into a loose formation. Look at the games I'm playing with their Yari cavalry. Right now I've traded 2 of their Yari cavalry for basically 1 of mine. 1 and a little more. And I am going to lose 1 of my Yari cavalry here. But I will gladly trade 3 of their Yari cavalry for 1 of mine. That's a trade I will take every time. Time after time. So I'm going to use my Donderbuss cavalry to just help scare these guys off. I'm going to lose my unit, they're going to lose their unit. Like, they're both going to mutually rout there. But now they have no mobility. And guess what? An army with no mobility is extremely, extremely at risk to being murdered by Donderbuss cavalry. Donderbuss cavalry, these units can single-handedly, like, if they didn't have any missile units right now, I could single-handedly murder every last samurai in their army with just these 2 units of Donderbuss cavalry. Very easily, I could do that. And so, again, another reason why the AI shouldn't be focused on camping. They should be focused on attacking and getting rid of units like this, which are a massive threat to them. So my Donderbuss cavalry are a huge threat. However, I need to do a few things in order to make them most useful. I'm going to fast forward for a minute because I have to walk all the way across the map because the AI has gone and hill camped here. I'm going to use my Donderbuss cavalry to kind of keep the flank of the enemy focused on me. And then I have taken my bow samurai, which again, remember, have very superior armor to a bow warrior monk. And I've brought them up here. And I put them out in a loose formation and spread them wide. So the enemy bow warrior monks and bow ashigaru are still in a tighter formation, which means that my arrows will be more effective hitting them than theirs will at me. Plus, I have better armor. So I'll be a little more resistant. So I'm going to be able to trade fairly nicely with a superior ranged force. And while their ranged force engages my bows, it leaves me the opportunity to bring in my Donderbuss cavalry. And so I'm going to let this little game of cat and mouse play out. I'm going to fast forward and kind of show you all what happens. So again, look at the trade here. I haven't even lost a single unit here, and they see their focus. They're back here trying to shoot my Terkos and Ashigaru. The AI is just incompetent. I've only lost a few units over here, and they were under like 3-to-1 type of fire. I'm going to go ahead and move in my Donderbuss cavalry. The AI does turn a bow warrior monk to face me, and I was like, well, it's going to hurt a little, but the woods will give me some cover. I'm going to move in and try and shoot them in the face, but there was a Nagi samurai. But I want you all to watch that. Look at that. Look what we just did to that Nagi Sam. I just almost cut it in half. And did cut it in half by the time I get a few more shots. Yeah, I'll take a few losses to this bow warrior monk. Kind of sucks. But, I mean, that is huge. We just ripped apart a Nagi samurai unit and basically nullified it for combat. And managed to keep this bow warrior monk from shooting my own bows at the same time. So we're taking very few losses in the bow fight. The AI is taking quite a few losses in the bow fight, and they've essentially just lost a Naginata samurai. The combat effectiveness of this Nagi Sam is going to be massively reduced at this point, just from a single volley of my Donderbuss cavalry. And so I need to finish this unit off. Their bow warrior monk is still paying attention to my Donderbuss cavalry, so this is probably a little bit premature for me to charge in here. I need to just get their attention with my bows. But watch this. Even being somewhat reckless with my Donderbuss cavalry, I want you all to watch what happens. Like how I can just pick apart the AI's hill camp, make them completely ineffective. Here's another hilarious part of the hill camp too. The AI actually positioned a few of their troops in these woods here because it couldn't fit them all up here. That creates a choke point right here. Because see, this terrain is impassable. I'll be able to block this terrain, and all the AI reinforcements that are hidden in these woods will get stuck trying to come through a single Ashigaru and shield or spear wall. And there are no shields in this game. Yeah, and spear wall. Look at this. These bow warrior monks have taken some damage. One of the bow warrior monks is actually shattered. So I've gotten rid of a bow warrior monk and haven't lost either one of my bow samurai. This again been very effective for me to trade like this. So they're going to bring forward their other bow warrior monk now that my Donderbuss cav have retreated to a safe distance. They'll give up on it, and now they'll focus on my bows. So again, we'll start trading. I see them starting to move some of these reinforcements towards the flank, and I can kind of understand what's going to happen here. So I decided to go ahead and move up my Terracos. And now that I've significantly got their attention, I have the cover of the woods, I'm going to also start shooting them with matchlocks. So again, this is just going to take this to the next level, and if the AI charges down the hill at me, I'll be waiting on them with my Katana Samurai after they get shot in the face by Terracos. So you can see here, I'm moving the Yari Ashigaru to block the choke point, so now I've effectively cut off their reinforcements, so there are 3 units trapped over here that will have to take a very long way around to try and help the battle. And I've got a Yari and a Nagi Sam covering that, plus another Yari Ashigaru in reserve. Some of my Terracos are in line of sight of the enemy bow units and will begin to fire. So again, this is going to be a very effective way for me to trade blows with the enemy bows. This is not a good situation, and despite their superior firepower and positioning, they're actually at a very, very bad position right now. So they are fighting a very much losing fight here. And my Terracos are pretty well armored. Some of them are returning fire. My bows are returning fire. My samurai are in position. And the AI will sometimes ignore the wrong units too and fire at the wrong units. Look over here. My Yari Ashigaru, completely impenetrable for this Nagi Sam. There's no way that Nagi Sam's cutting through me. I have a major terrain advantage and a defensive advantage here, so that is not going to happen. And AI is going to be pushed back with heavy losses. You can see this Nagi Sam's getting absolutely owned by my Yari Ashigaru. And now my Donderbuss cavalry are in a good position because now all of their bows are very much focused on my Portuguese Terracos and my Katana Sam and other units. So they're going to be very much focused, and it's a good chance for me to absolutely wipe them out. And once again, there's another Nagi Sam kind of blocking the way. And since the bow monk can't shoot at me, I was like, all right, we'll come delete the Nagi Sam. So boom. There goes half the unit once again, off of a quick volley. So Donderbuss Cavalry deleted their second unit of Nagi Sam for all intents and purposes, because now my Yari Ashigaru again can easily defeat this unit in combat. So I'll fall back and let my Yari Wall come in and finish off what should have been a superior samurai unit. I've got my own Nagi Sam moving up in support, but all these units are needed for support. The Donderbuss Cavalry can, like I said, they can single-handedly win this battle this point if they desire. The AI still hasn't charged off their hill to attack me. They lost a Nagi Sam unit. Now they realize that they're in big trouble. So my Donderbuss Cavalry come up and delete a Bow Warrior Monk. Like, literally delete it. It's off the battlefield all in one volley. So that is 2 Nagi Sam and a Bow Warrior Monk that have been completely eliminated by my Donderbuss Cavalry, and there are more units for my Donderbuss Cavalry to annihilate if they're given the opportunity. The AI is starting to realize that they should just charge me in melee, and this is exactly what they should have done from the beginning of this battle, because this position they have is unattainable. They can't protect themselves here. They're going to get shot to bits, and that's exactly what happens. So yet another Nagi Sam unit annihilated between a combo of Terracos and Donderbuss Cavalry, and my Donderbuss Cavalry have a lot more targets up here. I decided to push forward, but we're being charged, so I do have to back off because there's some reload time, and I'll use my Yari and my Nagi to protect the Donderbuss Cavalry. I'm going to get a couple of pot shots and then fall back. We are causing massive damage to the enemy melee troops. What troops did make it through to melee were quickly squished by my Katana Samurai. Their Yari Sam are no match, even coming downhill. And then my Yari Wall is over here just absolutely owning another unit of Nagi Sam, and this Katana Samurai is going to try and get past them too. You can see that the AI is trying to take the shortest route. Again, they're incompetents. They need to swing around this, but even if they did, I've got reinforcements waiting, so even if they did make the right decision, they're still in trouble. And at this point, the AI realizes how thoroughly defeated it is, and no more of them wish to die to my shotgun cavalry. And you can see here why both in terms of fun and in terms of actual effectiveness. No, the AI should not hill camp. Their army would have caused significantly more damage to me and made for a more interesting battle by just charging me head on. So that's that. Beat that argument. There we go. Well, the AI, once again, is taught a pretty important lesson that they'll never learn here, because despite having the moniker intelligence in its name, the AI doesn't know how to learn at the right moment. So if we take a look at the kills here, my Donderbuss cavalry deleted several units from the battlefield. Like, several units were utterly and totally annihilated. And this is a good example of where Donderbuss cavalry comes into play and why I have them in my army. And it's because the AI typically will hill camp. And even despite having ranged units that can help counter the Donderbuss cavalry, the AI isn't good enough to use them effectively. So in this battle, it's not the Terkos who carry the weight. It's the Donderbuss cavalry who come in and just help eliminate. And remember, though, on the Yari cavalry, we traded kind of 3 for 1, right? I traded 3 of their Yari cavalry for 1 of mine. So that was a good trade, a trade I will take. And then the Donderbuss cavalry start deleting enemy units, starts to hurt the power bar. They don't have a general. They're getting shot by Terkos, which, although not as damaging as if they had just charged at me on open ground, it's still damaging. And then by the time they get into a fight with their elite samurai, they're just overwhelmed. So this is great. This is actually, like, the AI would have been more effective had they just charged me on open ground. Yes, my Terkos would have gotten more kills, but a one-time coordinated charge from all their troops would have caused significantly more damage to me than it would have in this case. And so the AI actually played against itself here. We're able to utterly defeat the Otta. A massive victory there. So I am going to push this army forward to the bridge and just block the bridge. I am going to take the missionary in this army, and I'm going to place him into the settlement to see, yep, he can calm it and continue to convert it to Christianity. And now what we're going to do is try and set up the Otta for a big failure, hopefully. Though I don't know if I'll have enough money and luck to pull it all off. I want to sabotage this army, hold them in position until I can get there to kill them. And it works. So step 1 is a success. Step 2, I was going to say I'll just hold these remnants of their army for destruction, but honestly, that's not even worth spending my time on. Yeah, it's not even worth spending my time on here. So I could try and sabotage the castle gates. It's a low success chance, but let's do it. Okay. No big deal. All right. Well, I would say that was a pretty successful battle and turn-in. We're going to be replenishing troops at a rapid clip here. The AI will not. So we are at the advantage in this current situation. I know I have 2 skill points to spend here, but I'm actually just waiting until I hit the 4 stars. That way I can spend this in infantry leader. So if you all see this, yes, I'm intentionally ignoring that and hoping that he gets up to the next skill level. I can move on to the next settlement here, though the problem is going to be is that I won't be able to really stabilize Nagato very well. I kind of... I think I'm going to hang out one more turn here. I'm guessing that these missionaries, if they leave the settlement... But if I head into the next province... Okay, Aki can hold its own. So I'm going to bring the missionary to Nagato. And I'm going to push this... I think I'm going to push this army forward. Nagato will still be upset. But if I just place a couple of Yari units into a garrison, we can come and take Iwami. Oh, auto-resolve. Don't you be mean to me here. Okay. Good. The auto-resolve was actually quite nice to me. We have reached acclaimed fame, which means we can't claim a whole lot more territory without triggering the realm divide. So what we should be focusing on is stabilizing our income without the need for trade. And I have quite a few settlements, and I'll have a bit of income, so I think we should work on that. Rather than worrying about pushing for a whole bunch of new settlements, we should get our income stabilized and make sure that we're making a lot of it without trade being the only valuable source of income right now, which is kind of the case. I think I'm going to go ahead and end a turn here. And we got another great comment here. This is actually one... yeah, this is the one I mentioned earlier. Eat Penguins says, you need to anchor your fleets in front of your trade points and not dock them to prevent them from being blocked. Absolutely excellent point. I will try to implement that soon, though I can only guard 2 of my 3 trade docks at the moment, because I'll need some extra companionship for one of my trade fleets in order to pull this off. But the point he's making is, like, right here, I just went into the negative, or almost went into the negative from what they're doing. And I have to be careful because I could end up in a negative income situation. When I've spent all my cash like this, that could end up hurting my honor and causing troops to, you know, to start taking attrition. So our Metsuke has increased in rank. That's excellent. Let's go there. Port is blockaded. That is the port I expected to be blockaded. Mounting unrest here at Nagato, not unexpected. I can finally repair Iwami, but just barely. I have almost no money at the moment, so this is a bit problematic for me. Bit problematic. It's frustrating to be this low on money because we really don't have any reason to be. It's just the AI can get away with all kinds of trade blocking shenanigans like this. I'm going to take my little small fleet here, and I'm going to have to go try and push their fleet off. I can't afford to leave this blockaded for 2 turns. I've got another Nanban ship here, and I actually think that I may take this Nanban ship and come park this one in front of this, and I'll send it a couple of bow kabayas to support, because I can always get new ones up here. There we go. So we'll use this fleet to help keep that port safe. This fleet, I'm going to park it up in front of this port. And then this fleet is now repaired, so I'm going to park it in front of this port. So now they can no longer blockade my 3 trade ports. And I'm going to go ahead and see if this is a winnable battle here. It's actually a bit of a scary fight. Trade ships. The AI won't use their Sengokubune to any good effect. That's a lot of Bokabayas, though. I'm going to hold off. I'm not going to make that attack at the moment. I'm going to just protect my trade fleet, and we will have to just break that blockade on the next turn, and I may have to combine some forces to do it. But that'll at least keep our trade routes from being directly blockaded. There's been quite a loss of fleets for the Oda. And like I said, I'm kind of low on money on this turn, which definitely sucks, but I don't think they can do any additional damage to me at the moment. What we could do is get rid of some units that we're not really using at the moment. Like a lot of this stuff here, it won't save me a lot, but we could disband some of these troops. And just kind of help take the edge off some of this hurt here. I'm going to take an extra couple of kabayas off this fleet and bring them down here to disperse. Make them more useful. Let's take a look at our army here. Keep cost 175, yes. Turcos are really the expensive stuff here. That'll be okay for this turn. Let's go ahead and just end another turn. Let's see, this Rise of the Soul Stealer says, "Hey Air, love to have your Shogun gameplay back. To your question on matchlocks and the fire by rank ability, the ability is absolutely worthwhile. There are some issues when the units are, I call it stuttering, meaning pathfinding, and they can't really get in line. The ability shines when your troops are actually able to shoot, because you get twice as many volleys." Yeah, I would assume that it's one of those things that's probably more useful when the AI is just like open charging you from like the first volley, right? Everybody's reloaded, everybody's in position, and everybody's ready to go. I feel like that's where it's going to be at its most worthwhile, whereas if you need them to just fire quickly, you're probably going to be better off to be spread wide and get as many shots out of that front rank as possible. But yeah, it says turn on the defensive mode. This is the best thing you can do in Total War. Not only does it allow your units to fire as soon as they are ready, but instead of the whole battalion, which will therefore fix the issue with the range units stopping, also allow them to keep shooting when they are partly engaged in melee, so long as you don't input any new orders. Yep, I like to use defensive mode. I may have forgotten it in this last battle, but I typically do like to use defensive mode. So our fleet is going to be engaged by an OTOMO fleet outside of a port. This is fine. This fleet's totally capable of winning this battle, so let's do so. A rainy battle at sea. Why the rain? Why would the AI fight in the rain when their best bet is to burn the Nanban ship? Well, we will see. The AI has special tricks up its sleeve, so fire arrows are technically unavailable in rainy weather, but I guess that depends on whether you are a player or whether you're the AI, because the AI can actually still use them. It's a glitch that CA never fixed. Sure, cannons can't sink ships, but sure, you can light up flaming arrows in the rain. So CA, please. That's what I think of that.
Shameful display!
Yes, it is. It is an absolute shameful display. Anyway, you're going to see my, my bow kabaya here, trading some shots over to Sengoku Bune. There are quite a few of the melee troops in the Sengoku Bune who stand up on the deck, so you can cause some significant damage to them with sustained fire from bow kabaya. But again, the AI should just be charging straight into melee with those ships, and while they were charging into melee, it would open the way for these firebomb kabayas. They can easily defeat me with the navy they have here, easily, but they're incompetent. And so they're trying to get shots with their firebomb kabaya, understandable, but again, if the Sengoku Bune came and engaged me in melee, then this thing would have a wide open shot, but instead it got absolutely annihilated. Look, the only 2 firebombs managed to get off and explode, but it killed 10 of my troops. Here comes another firebomb kabaya, so I realize the AI is going full kamikaze on me with these firebomb kabaya. Fortunately for me, they have to get very close, and they have a prolonged firing animation. You can see a couple of their bombs hitting over here, and again, I lost quite a few troops, 30 or 40. So these firebomb kabayas would be deadly effective had they came and busied my Nanban ship with a boarding action. But instead, they haven't, and so I'm able to fight back. Look at this one, it's stuck waiting on the routing ship, like trying to get out of its way, and hasn't even gotten into range. And this one's going to get absolutely annihilated by matchlock fire and bow fire. Look at this, though. Flaming arrows in the rain. Well, at least I shouldn't catch on fire because the rain, and it was only 1 volley, right? Yeah, that's what I hope. We'll see. But yeah, the AI's cheating. And I immediately catch on fire, despite the rain and despite the fact that it was only like 2 volleys. So, of course. Again, CA, please.
Shameful display!
That's right. That's what Air thinks of that. Anyway, despite the fire, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to be starting to use my bow kabaya to destroy their own bow kabaya so that they can no longer set me on fire. The rest of their ships, since they won't rush into melee because they're absolutely stupid, I'm able to sit here and start picking apart their only real threat to me, which is the fire arrows from the bow kabaya. So there goes one, essentially. Fast forward through this. No, it's not like totally cinematic, but I mean, this is pointless to sit through. Here goes a second one. And once the bow kabaya are gone, because they won't come into melee with me, eventually the fire on my ship is going to be put out. It's lasted an annoyingly long time, again, considering that it's raining. And it was only a single volley to begin with. The wood on my ship would have been thoroughly saturated, but yet, again, somehow managed to catch on fire. Just saying.
Shameful display!
Just saying. Shameful display. Alright. Anyway, you can see their trade ships left. Trade ships obviously not going to be effective here. My bow kabayas are just kind of focus firing their ships at the moment. I cannot use flaming arrows, unfortunately, or else it would help speed this process. My Nanban ship is no longer on fire, so I'm going to get it sailing, get underway, and you can see that the matchlocks are actually probably the most devastating part of the black ship or the Nanban ship. Matchlocks cause tremendous damage in naval battles. I don't really know why, but you can see there the trade ship got utterly annihilated after a salvo from the cannons and the matchlocks. So that leaves just a couple of trade ships over here and a nearly routed Sengoku, well, a rerouted Sengoku Bune. Let me correct myself. These ships should be sinking. So frustrating. In any case, yeah, the Nanban ship is in full control of the battlefield. Let's go ahead and fast forward because it's just a couple of trade ships. We know it's not really even possible for them to win, regardless of even if they went down a best case scenario. Bow kabayas are just swarming, and this is why you support Nanban and black ships with bow kabaya. If you want, you can also have some Sengoku Bune to help support, but it's I think it would be more necessary to have the Sengoku Bune to support if the AI was smart enough to attempt boarding actions, because then you could use them to do your own boarding actions on their own Sengoku Bune and try and wear them out, essentially. But regardless, we're able to get the win there. Okay, so another big victory for us. Though you saw there, the AI can cheat. They can shoot fire arrows in the rain, and you can't, which is kind of garbage. The only damage there that was done by the firebomb kabaya. I'm a little bit disappointed, too, because I'm pretty sure I had more crew left than that at the end of the battle, and it gave me even more casualties. Like, I don't know, maybe people died of bleeding or something after the fight. I don't really know what that indicates. But all the captured units are annoying because it automatically lets you, I don't know, maybe you can scuttle them from that screen. I haven't taken a look at it, but it makes me lose even more money, which I do not want. Got another Metsuke that increased in rank. 2 of them, in fact. Let's go in here. Ending. There's 10% chance to being assassinated. When bribing, apprehending, overseeing towns. Overseeing towns. I may just save his skill points and throw it all into overseeing towns, because that's all they're going to use it for. And let's go to Suke, increase in rank. This one. The same thing here, overseeing towns. And we'll save it for the next one. We can make them better at overseeing towns. Let's get rid of unnecessary ships in our fleet. Get rid of these. And I don't need all these firebomb ships. I don't need any of them, in fact. And I probably have too many Bokabaya here. Go ahead and get rid of one more. I'm going to pull together fleet here. And then I think if we attack here, yeah, we get the reinforcements. So I'll have 2 Nanban ships. We can free up our trade port. Alright, so let's go ahead and fight this battle. And win it. Alright, so as this battle begins, you can see one of my Nanban ships in the background, the reinforcing one here. So I have the 2 Nanban ships. The AI is rushing forward with 2 Sengoku Bune. Again, enough to cause me a really big problem. Were they intelligent enough to board the black ship? But again, the moniker intelligence is totally misfitting in the AI when it comes to this game. So you can see I'm going to get some really nice shots here. Start damaging their Sengoku Bune. And really putting them in a bad position. My own Bokabaya are rushing forward to help support. Again, the Sengoku Bune are a low-level threat. The higher tier threat is going to be the Bokabaya, and they have a single Firebomb Kabaya back here in the back. Those are the, like I said, real threat. Mostly just though, all of these ships should be a threat for the AI to use them properly, but they don't. And like I said, it'd be more fun if the Nanban ship did do a lot more sinking than it used to, but at the same time, the AI used their ships more appropriately. Look at this. Just a very small volley. And it is raining, so by the way, they're cheating. Small volley of fire arrows. It's so annoying. Look, here comes a second volley. Fortunately for me, nothing on fire yet. But we'll see. You can see that the one Bokabaya has been routed. The second one is starting to take some pretty decent damage. Fortunately for me, I got very lucky that the fire arrows didn't didn't light me up. Because normally the AI will almost immediately light you on fire. These 2 Sengoku Bune were bunched up against the red line and then routed. And so now they're immediately gone. The Bokabaya is routing, and at this point there's, just like I said, the Bokabaya and a couple more Sengoku Bune over here. Not a whole lot to worry about. This trade ship is now moving up into position. See that these flaming arrows didn't actually catch me on fire. It was just the animation still going on. It comes to, again, with 4 Sengoku Bune, they should have been able to board and defeat at least one of my trade ships. At least one. Maybe they don't win the battle, but they should have been able. And then also, their Sengoku Bune, if they get a hold of my Bokabaya, you know, they can KO those quite easily as well. You can see, though, here comes their Bone Kabaya and Firebomb Kabaya. I pretty much just ignore the Sengoku Bune. They're not even worth my time in terms of paying attention to. And I'm going to focus on the Bokabaya, and sure enough, it gets one volley and in the rain, and still manages to light my giant ship on fire. CA.
Shameful display!
You know what I think of that. Anyway, here we go. Their firebomb Kabaya, however, gets stuck on my own Bokabaya, and I was like, well, they're probably going to bomb my ship. They didn't. They're so focused on firebombing just the Nanban ship that they completely ignore an opportunity to KO one of my Bokabaya. So again, the AI defeating itself more than I am defeating it. So these guys are a great teammate for me. Might as well be my teammate at this point. My other Nanban ship, I'm moving it into position, and when it goes front on, it actually gets a decent number of matchlock shots. And while shooting these units in the back, and the matchlock's causing quite a bit of damage, they're bunched up right on the red line, because again, the AI is nincompooplishly incompetent, and they rout, and they're going to go straight off the battlefield. I'm turning my other Nanban ship, and this one has moved into position, and this is going to be the end of the AI fleet, so my trade port will no longer be blockaded. Big success for us here. Yeah, they really need to add an option here at the end to just sink the ships that you don't want to keep. Be very helpful. Regardless, we freed up our trade port. Our income has recovered quite considerably. That's even with the fact that I have a couple of unneeded Bokabaya at this point. I'm gonna just get rid of this trade ship, the firebomb ship, like that. There we go. Save me a little bit of upkeep. I am gonna put this fleet into port, but only to repair them, and apparently I... Wait a minute. Wait. What's up with this? Oh, the fleet doesn't have any more movement points. It's like, that's very strange. Alright, I'm going to put this fleet back out here to guard my trade ships and improve my income a little. I'm going to park this fleet in front of that port. I've got this fleet parked in front of that port and this one here, so there will be no more blockading done by the AI. And we're going to just keep parked there. So that should be able to get our income on the recovery. And as it does, we'll be able to use that income to like do stuff like this, repair this farm, and get these provinces, like this gold mine needs to be repaired. That'll be a significant source of income for us. We can build markets, more things there. So we've got a lot of income potential here. We just need to make sure that it gets used properly. And I'm just going to keep the outta at bay. Let's end another turn here. I don't have the money to really spend doing anything else. And Ted says he likes using a priest to cause riots so you don't have to declare war. It is a good idea, and it is very useful in that regard. They're going to go for the rebattle here. Because my fleet's damaged, so it's probably giving them a better chance they deserve. Auto-resolve is very risky here. They will kill off your ship sometimes, so... I'm not going to show this battle, but I am going to fight it. It's not worth watching, but it's not worth auto-resolving either. Alright, the AI has lost multiple fleets. Many fleets, but they'll have a bunch more. The cheating from the AI is pretty bad. It's really bad, in fact. There'll be significant cheating going on, and that's why we're going to kind of slow down from territory capture here so as to not trigger realm divide. I might take 1 or 2 more provinces, but we're really going to get focused on bringing up our income, like I said, through means that don't rely on trade. That is going to be our goal at the moment. So getting markets built, getting all kinds of stuff built that's going to boost up our income, because we probably won't be able to maintain trade throughout a realm divide. I'm going to get this fleet in here, repair it, and then we'll take it up off the port, kind of like we're doing here, per the comments. Excellent comments, by the way. Very well thought out. So I may keep another couple of ships if I capture some in the upcoming battles with the black ship. They can still raid me, but it will cause significantly less income harm than it would otherwise. I'm not even worried about pushing forward right here. We do have some artisans and an iron mine. They are again raiding some income up here. The AI is obscene in terms of what they can accomplish with their cheating economics, and that is going to be challenging for us to overcome, to say the least. Where are my missionaries all at? I think I have 4 of them. So here's 1, 2, 3. Not have a 4th one. One of them was killed then, and I didn't notice. Actually, complete, because I had 4. I'm pretty sure I did. Get back to a place where I have a church present and get one recruited. Yeah, someone killed one of my missionaries, which is unfortunate. I want to have all the missionaries that I can, so that we can use them. Basically what I'm going to do is, before we have a realm divide, I'm going to just kind of come up through here with my missionaries and just cause absolute havoc amongst the Otta provinces. Like, I'm going to weaken the Otta significantly prior to realm divide using my missionaries. And I'll be building my economy at the same time. So that's going to be our goal over the next few episodes. So I'd say this was a successful episode. We picked up territory. We now have our trade ports in a better position to be defended. So I have a fleet blockading each major trade port, and that'll keep them from being able to blockade it. That'll keep my trade open. We can use that income. We'll build up farms. We'll build up sake dens. We'll build up markets, all that kind of stuff, so that we can sustain a better economy. And that's going to be our goal for the next one. Do appreciate all the comments. There was lots of great comments here. I hate that I can't get to them all. I'll take a last couple here. Skull Eye Palatini, which, love the name, by the way. Nice throwback to West Rome. It says, oh yes, Warhammer is great and all, but this brings me back to the day. Invested a lot of time and effort in Total War Shogun 2 Avatar Conquest. Spent my time mastering and teaching newcomers. Yeah, it was fun. The Avatar Conquest was really great. Thank you. Cody Lynn says, oh my god, Air, I was literally just watching your old Shogun 2 videos, and now I'm watching the Josei campaign, Follow the Samurai. Well, now you got another one to watch, so hope you enjoy it. Only 3 minutes in and the first shameful display. Very excited. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoy that, Dead Flowers. And let's get another one here. It says, Air turning on guard mode when using Neil Fire will change your life. So again, thank you for the tips. I'm going to do my best to remember that. Well, feel free to remind me as we go about it. Mitchie says, I'm relieved to see you finally coming back to Shogun 2. Please, please, for the love of gosh, please continue to come back to Shogun 2 campaigns to this channel. Not just edited versions, but like the old episodic, everything included style of video. I probably won't do multiple Shogun 2 campaigns at once, but I will be maintaining a non-Warhammer campaign at all times on my channel. Currently, it is this one, but it may rotate through other games like Rome 2, Troy, Three Kingdoms, whatever, right? I'm going to be rotating through non-Warhammer Total War games and getting some campaign in there, but I am glad you are enjoying it. So thank you very much. Anyway, that's all the time I have for now. Hope you all enjoyed this episode. HeirofCarthage signing out, and I will see you soon.